Welcome everyone, I'm Ariel and this is Urbanist. I explore cities all around the world, and today we're going to explore a little bit of Lower Manhattan, a great area to explore, to wander without any particular direction or aim or agenda. It's a great place to just enjoy the architecture, the views of downtown, of midtown, whatever you can catch. All the cool architecture is jam-packed with a bunch of things. But right now I'm starting in a place that I recommend New Yorkers or tourists specifically when they come visit here. It might be tricky sometimes to find a bathroom wherever you go in the city. Now, one pro tip I have for you, and be sure to keep this a secret between you and I, is you go to hotels, not the big famous chains, but you go to the boutique hotels. Such as this one in Soho called the Blonde, and there's a few others in Soho like the Nomo Soho and a few other ones, the Moxie in East Village. There's also a Moxie also in 34th Street, Herald Square. Some of them also have cafes or bars integrated into them, so it's easy to go for a nice rest stop as you're exploring the city. That's my #1 pro tip. They tend to be much more cleaner than bathrooms you'll find publicly available or like in the Chipotle or fast food chain. So let's walk around New York City. Let me know where you're watching from. So yeah, right here I'm in the Blonde Soho. For example, their restroom is on the 2nd floor. You go up the main entrance around the spiral staircase, which we're gonna go down there, through the common area / bar area, and in the back are the restrooms. But let's go downstairs and explore New York City, shall we? And you can hear the subway actually right below our feet right now, which is so cool. It's also a great place to have a little bit of air conditioning in order to escape the heat. So a few people were asking me what the hotel is. I said the Blonde. The Blonde is actually the name of the bar upstairs where I started from. The name of the hotel is 11 Howard. 11 Howard, here located in Soho. And I'll find you. The intersection is Howard and Lafayette. Howard Street and Lafayette Street. That's the intersection. These hotels tend to be very minimalistic. They're not as flashy as the commercial hotels, or as super fancy as the ones you'll find further up in 5th Avenue. So it's worth going in. Usually you'll never get asked if you're dressed somewhat, nicely. Usually you won't get bothered to go directly to the restroom, or you could just say you're going to the bar and they'll understand. So right here we are located at the border of Soho and going into Chinatown. Kay's asking me what I bought. I bought some sandals. This is not sponsored by Nike at all, though I wouldn't mind a Nike sponsorship. That would be nice. I need some good sandals for walking, especially on my upcoming trip to Greece. Alicia says sandals, yes. So let me know if you would like to see the sandals I bought. I needed some good footwear when exploring Greece, especially in 100-degree Fahrenheit weather. Where should I go? Let me not go through here. Let's go up through Howard Street. I think this is a bit more scenic. Susie says, I bought some sneakers recently. Oh, you did? That's awesome. That's really cool. Kay says, let's have a look. All right. I'll find a place to put my camera down as we're wandering and strolling. Nicole says, yes. Oh, wow. We have a lot of people tuning in. I'm so happy we have a lot of the usual urbanists tuning in. There's definitely a hardcore live streamer crew that watches, even though I've sporadically had a schedule in the past year since September. So I appreciate people tuning in. So a round of hearts to the hardcore urbanist out there. Nicole says, I bought some pink Nikes at the Soho store recently. Oh, you went to the Soho store. That's cool. Yeah, that's exactly the store I went to. It's their flagship store, I think in the US. Definitely the one in New York City. It's huge. It's like 4 floors. It's gigantic. So here people are lining up for Rick Owens. It happens with these boutique stores. They don't allow everyone to come in. The store is very empty. They just let people trickle in. Not entirely sure why they do that. I doubt that people would try to steal. Well, though people have, I wouldn't be naive to that. But the store is fairly empty for having a line outside. Hey, Jeannie says, saw you on French Fry in Paris. Hey, you probably saw a very old episode from last year. Where I featured him in one of my videos and he featured me in one of his. It was really cool. Really great guy. Plane flying overhead. Look at that. DRT says, great video quality. Oh, I'm so glad. Daryl says, Action Kid is live in Union Square. Oh, cool. I'm glad Action Kid is back in his home city of New York. But look at this. Look at the beautiful sky, clouds, architecture. Oh, he's just got everything. You got the beautiful fire escapes. Inspired Life says, what a day. Helen says, going to bed. Bad storms coming soon in Connecticut. Oh no, I hope you end up making it out. All right, let's investigate what's... I'll show you the sandals. Not nothing fancy, but I think it's important to have. There we go. There we go. That's the sandal. I was trying to find one of these ones that are not the kind of the typical ones that you see. They're very kind of plain. I want to get something a little bit kind of more modern. I think this fits the bill. And I don't like Birkenstocks, so Nike it was. The mark is called All Conditions Gear, ACG. That's the name, All Conditions Gear. Pamela says, great sandals, yeah. Susie says, stylish sandals, don't wear them with socks. Oh, my intention was to rock them with jeans, sandals, and socks. It is the hip way to wear sandals. I usually don't wear sandals with socks, but I gotta admit, some guys do rock it really well. Let me know, what's your opinion? Socks with sandals or no socks with sandals? Pro sock or are you anti-sock? Or are you sock agnostic? Helen says both. Do you still have the sandals that you bought in Greece, says Irene? I do. I don't know how the ancient Greeks wore those sandals. I don't know how some modern day Greeks wear those sandals. They're very nice. They take quite a while to break them in. I have not broke them in at all because I've worn them maybe a handful of times. They are very thin, which kind of sucks if you're walking in A, slippery marble or like slippery historic ruins, or B, rocky places. Those sandals kind of suck for that. I'm not sure how people wear them in those terrains. Susie's anti-sock. Anna's also anti-sock. Oh, look at the... Oh, wow, that's a beautiful shot right there. Martine says, have you been to Kith in Soho? Yes, I've been to Kith many times in Soho. So Martine is referring to a clothing store, a very hip streetwear clothing store. And they do sell ice cream at like their Brooklyn location. I'm not sure if they sell in Manhattan location. I've been to their both of them. I have never really bought anything, but yes, I've tried their cereal milk flavored ice cream, which was really good. Rashid says, what do you think of graffiti in cities? I like street art. If it's commissioned, that means legal street art that the owner of the building paid for, I think is quite beautiful. But graffiti, also known as tags, which we're seeing on all the walls that we're passing by, like this one right here, I think that's just vandalism, in my opinion. It's vandalism, straight up. There are certain circumstances where in history I think graffiti might have been appropriate. There were definitely moments in history where people were rebelling against a oppressive cause, oppressive institution, government, whatnot. Then that kind of makes sense, but I think this is straight up vandalism. So I don't like it. I know some kids are misguided and they don't fully realize that you are ruining someone's property, no matter how you try to justify to yourself that you deserve to, or it's an act of rebellion to put graffiti on a building. Regardless of who the owner is, it's still someone who paid for that property with good, honest money most of the time. 99% of the time, that building, especially in the US, was bought with good, honest money. And someone decided to vandalize it. And someone has to spend their good, honest money to try to clean it up. It sucks. Let me know your thoughts. Rashi says, I think it gives the city a soul. That's definitely one argument for it, yeah. Alicia says, the city looks a bit empty. Alicia, astute observation. It does look empty because I think it's a long holiday weekend. Tomorrow is July 4th. And I think this Monday is observed holiday for a lot of companies. So, and then there's a lot of clothing stores and other types of stores that have been closed. I was about to go to my tailor to get a shirt of mine tailored to get adjusted. And he was closed today. So I think that's the reason. Not everything, of course, is closed, but just some things. Also, July 4th is an interesting weekend. If you're a New York local, people tend to go to the beach, which is not in New York. They go to Rockaway, which is in southern Queens. They go to Long Island, maybe the Hamptons, Jones Beach, Fire Island, Montauk, other places. Helen says, are you good? Go out to see the fireworks. Yes, tomorrow, stay tuned at 8 p.m. on the Classic Harbor Line channel. I will be going live from the New York Harbor to show you the fireworks. Up close and personal. So stay tuned tomorrow at Classic Harbor Line, 8 p.m. I'll be live for about 2.5 hours or so to show you all the fireworks. Of course, crossing fingers, cell phone reception is good. but I'm so excited, deeply excited. The reason I'm doing the Classic Harbor Line channel is because they're actually hiring me to do it on their channel. And I work with partners like Classic Harbor Line so I can continue doing content for all of you. Maybe live stream short videos, or very soon a documentary series about Athens, Greece. So round of hearts to Classic Harbor Line for hiring me to do what I think I do best, which is live streaming. I really do love live streaming. And I'm so happy that I finally had a client that has paid me for multiple live streams. It feels good, you know, if you do something for a career that isn't quite the most well-known thing, it feels nice when someone pays you for it. Let me know if you've had that feeling. I've already done 10 live streams with Classic Harbor Line, and I'm working with them to provide you with edited versions of those Classic Harbor Line videos, both like a 20-minute version and the short 1-minute version. All right, so let's see, where shall we walk? Where shall we walk? I've been on this street a lot, so let's go one street over. This is Broadway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pass by Casey Neistat's place, just so you can see it. Casey Neistat, very famous vlogger based in New York City. But otherwise, we're gonna go elsewhere. Hey, says, wow, we have 200 people watching. Yeah, Alicia, that's awesome. Hey, Nebul. Hey, Shiva, nice to see you here. So right there, it's Casey Neistat's place. He has a camera. That's the studio, I mean. He doesn't live there, that's the studio. That's the camera he has outside of his studio. Usually, especially in the heyday of his popularity, there were little kids here waiting. A lot of little kids, people of all ages, but definitely a good portion of them were young teenage kids waiting to catch a glimpse of one of the most famous vloggers known to man. And right below was a place called 368, but I think they changed the name and now it's called Shrine. Dwayne says Canada Day was on July 1st. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Canada Day was on July 1st. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians watching today. The stream is very cool, says Rashid. I feel like I'm walking in New York City live. Oh, Rashid, yes, that's why I love live video. I've never been to America, says Rashid, but seeing it is very cool. I'm so happy. That's awesome to hear. Hey, Mighty Bull, nice to see you here. Ooh, store for rent. This used to be a pizza place, but no longer. Oh my God, another retail space for rent over here. Who wants to take the quick bus over to Staten Island? This goes to Staten Island, over here. But should I rent one of these two places? Let me know. Should I make the huge Urbanist souvenir store right over here? Hey, Marit says, I'm new here on your channel from Norway. Oh, welcome from Norway. Barrett says, I saw Casey's review of the Insta360 Go 3 camera. Looks sweet. Oh, I gotta check that out. That's awesome. It's cool that he's sponsored by them. Yvette says, kudos to you making those big bucks. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that, Yvette. Dara says, I've been doing a great job covering for Classic Harbor Line. Oh, thank you so much. Did you visit the Highline extension yet? Asked Shiva. No, not yet. Not yet. I may shorten some people's names. Pardon if you prefer me to say your full name. If so, do let me know how to pronounce it. Ooh, I like your print, says Bella. Oh yeah, you caught me wearing floral. It has been a while since I've rocked the floral. I've kind of moved away from floral and decided to embrace solid colors and different types of textures on clothes as opposed to prints. All right, let's continue to explore. Hey, Martine says, do you have a favorite street in New York? Dorrier Street in Chinatown is my favorite. I think by far. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. Let's actually go there. So, Tribeca is going to be empty at this time. It's nice sometimes to walk through empty Tribeca, but let's go where there's a little bit more life in Chinatown. Do you like the looseness of your non-schedule, the streams that are not scheduled as Inspire Life? Yeah, I do. I recognize that as from a viewer's perspective, it's very frustrating. Well, not very, but it depends on the viewer. But a portion of viewers might find it frustrating to try to catch a live stream that comes on random times. For the first like two years of my career, back in 2016 to about early 2018, I did not have a schedule. So you would have to just tune in when I went. Sometimes I announced it, sometimes I didn't. And I can imagine it was frustrating for some viewers who wanted to catch it and then they somehow missed it. But then I do love having a schedule. However, sometimes especially if it's a lot of days a week, after a while, I feel a little bit constrained because sometimes this inspiration strikes at different times of the day as opposed to one specific time every single day. So it's a give and take. Though luckily I am my own boss and I get to choose my own schedule, and hence that's why I've taken the break from live streaming. Angel says the Puerto Rico videos were amazing. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed them. I really miss Puerto Rico. I feel like I need to go back. It's a good PR. The true spontaneity is the best. Yeah, true spontaneity is the best. And sometimes it's hard to be spontaneous if you have something planned. Vincent says, favorite rooftop bar? You know, that's a great question. Rooftop bar. The favorite one, I think the one I would recommend, I gotta remember the name. I think it's in the Sheraton Hotel at the edge of Chinatown. It's great because it's not too exclusive. So it's fairly easy to get in before 9 p.m. or so. And it has amazing 360 views of the city. So you get to see both the downtown and midtown Manhattan skylines. I would recommend it. But I'll find the proper name. If anyone knows the name of the rooftop bar, do let me know. I think it's the Sheraton Hotel in Chinatown along Canal Street. I think the cross street is Bowery. Ooh, what's happening here? So this is the old historic firehouse, not the one from Ghostbusters. That's about a 10-minute walk away from here. But this firehouse is as old, pretty old, from early 1900s. And it has a new entrance over here. And I wonder what this entrance is for. We like to visit Tenerife sometime soon, says Eugene. Yes, I would like to visit Tenerife in the Canary Islands because I have my ancestors, at least Spaniards, or the Portuguese ancestors, come from Tenerife. So I would love to investigate that. So it seems like there was a documentary film festival in this firehouse. That's so interesting. Island Girl from San Martin. Hey, Island Girl from San Martin. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Gwen says, I just ate Chinese food and it brought back memories when I ate in Chinatown. Ooh, that's so cool. Oh my God. No. What did they do here? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence. Let me know what's missing here. You see a lot of scaffolding, so for context, this is the building that's known as the Tombs. I think it's the fourth version of the Tombs. It is the detention center where they detain people who are arrested here in Manhattan. Right next door, I think, is the courthouse. of New York. But something is missing between these two buildings. Paul says it's people. Not quite people. Yeah, it's a bit empty here, but not quite people. Something else is missing. Hey, Wendy, nice to see you here. Aunt Jemima says his knowledge of history. I can't read the rest of the comment. Disappear from me. Aunt Jemima loves my shorts. Oh, I'm so glad you love my shorts and have been addicted to them. Helen says, bus stop. I'm not sure if a bus stop has been here, but no, I'm not referring to a bus stop. Nebud says, is a building missing? No, nope, ladies and gentlemen. I have to give you a better hint. There is a fixture in New York City that used to rule the skies of the city, but has since then disappeared one by one. A fixture that connects two buildings together. What is that? Do let me know in the comments. Yeah! Ding, 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 ding. Helen and Susie and Jessica and Kelly and Vincent and Rashid and Southern Pacific all got it right. It was a sky bridge. A sky bridge was connecting the detention center with this court building, and they took it down. I think they're gonna tear down the detention center and rebuild it, but no, it was so cool. All the sky bridges are disappearing from New York City. It's a grand shame. Linda says it was skywalk. Yeah, it was a sky bridge is the term used in New York City. Yeah, it's so sad that they've taken it down. They're building 4 new jails. Oh no, I think that might be the reason. That's why there were so many protests in Chinatown. Bella says, what a travesty. It is a huge travesty, truly. And I used to be able to walk through here in order to get to Chinatown, but now we gotta walk around. I gotta take the long way. Steven says because they're closing Rikers. Oh, they're gonna build a jail here as well? Because this is a detention center, it's not a jail. So anyone who's charged with the crime, as far as I know, is not held here. Only the people who are waiting for court or to be summoned. Susie says, I will miss the Gimbal Skybridge. I hope that's not torn down, but I've heard rumors. I'm not sure if it's set in stone yet. I gotta do some reading. But yeah, the Gimbal Skybridge is under danger as well. Cash says, please say coffee. Please. Cash, I am not a puppet to the whims of you wanting to hear a typical New York accent, okay? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Forget about it. I ain't saying. This is a serious show. There's no accents on this show. This guy over here asking for accents. Forget about it, all right? In New York, we don't do accents. Dead ass. Cash says sorry. Oh, I realize that I have people tuning in from all around the world. Cash, I am being sarcastic. So no, no offense meant to you. I'm being sarcastic. Daryl says, have a safe trip. Oh, thank you so much, Daryl. I appreciate that. Wendy says, I love your sarcasm. Oh, thank you. The smell of Chinatown. I love it. Oh. I want to get the essence of the smell of Chinatown, bottle it up, and sell it as a perfume souvenir, or like an essence, or like a candle. Let me know if you would like that. Like I can make candles of different New York scents. A Chinatown candle. I can make you a New York City subway candle. You can guess what the smells would be for the New York City candle. I can give you a hot summer day out in the city under the blazing sun candle. You can also assume what that means. Hey, Expired, can you describe the smell? Fish. It smells like fish. It smells like fish is the permeating smell throughout the air. It's good fish. Not for everyone, though. Sorry. There's a lot of fruits here being sold. Not the typical fruits you'll find in the supermarkets here. Not every supermarket, at least. Dragon fruit. We've got both sweet and sweet red dragon fruit. That looks nice. Susie says, de urine du subway. Yes. That would be the... Ron says the essence of Port Authority. That's another great recommendation. Another great. Okay, a little bit of popular music playing. Alicia says we're at 317 people watching.
Yeah.
Wow, we have a lot of people tuning in. I didn't know these live streams were so popular. Hey, so Kelly B says it cracks me up because when you watch some news stations, they're telling us, the rest of us in the US, that New York is a war zone. Like Fox News made it sound like it was on fire. Yeah, Fox News is not the only one. All the news stations are guilty of this, regardless of their political leanings. It's pretty sad. You know, I've only dodged a few bullets today, and I've only escaped a few screaming madmen. Just a few, but it is not a war zone, okay? It is not a war zone. I might have wrestled with a gigantic rat 2 days ago, but it's not a war zone. Feel pretty at ease here in New York City, okay? Many of the Chinese restaurants here. This place is actually pretty good. It's kosher, Chinese, and vegetarian. Bodhi. Highly recommend it if you're kosher. I'm not, but I do have Jewish friends that are. Hey, Cynthia says, thank you for streaming today. Hey, Cynthia. That means a lot. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's a nice restaurant inside. Sometimes the exteriors might look a little bit grungy, but some restaurants are very nice here in Chinatown. Same thing with the rest of New York City in general. Emwood is tuning in. Thank you so much for Emwood for tuning in. Rob says the media thinks makes me think that New York was on fire. Nah, well, in a way it is. You know, New York is fire, bro. No cap. But New York City is not on fire, but it is fire. New York is lit, but is not lit in fires. There's a difference. That's a little bit of New York slang for all of you. All right, let me show you my favorite street in New York City. Who wants to go? Oh, one of the sky bridges is still up here. That's nice. Hopefully this one's not torn down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we still have a surviving sky bridge. Duvon says New York City's sinking. You know, people have been saying that for years, for centuries. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a sky bridge from what I was referring to earlier. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, no politics in the chat. The mods will time you out. Put you in the corner. They will put you in the corner if you discuss politics. Colin says, what camera are you using? I'm using the iPhone 13 Plus Pro to the Max Extreme Super Max Transcendental iPhone 2.0. In short, the iPhone 13 Pro. Doreen, nice to see you here. Landon says best pizza. Best pizza is not in this area, but it's nearby. There's a great pizzeria just 5 minutes away called Monera Pizza. Monera Pizza is my favorite pizza currently in Little Italy. Little Italy isn't really that Italian anymore, but Monera Pizza does continue a great tradition of classic New York slices. Highly recommend them. It is a reference to Saturday Night Fever. I think the main character's last name was Monera. Or I might be saying it wrong, Monero. I gotta double check. So right here we have the main thoroughfare for Chinatown, which is Mott Street. Has been the historic thoroughfare of Chinatown since about the 1880s, late 1870s, about the 1870s. The first Chinese started settling here in Mott. Most of the Chinese that end up coming here end up moving from San Francisco and the West Coast, like other cities like Seattle, and coming over here due to evading persecution and raids that were happening in that area of the West Coast during that time. Martine says, what do you think of outdoor terraces? I think in general, I love outdoor seating. And in general, I wish there were less cars in New York City. Oh. There's a basement called Basement. I wonder what's down below. So everyone, that is a speakeasy we just bumped into. Not so super secretive. It doesn't seem to be really like high-end cocktail bar, but it does seem like a cool vibe and lots of empty space to grab a drink, which is nice. So yeah, it's a cool speakeasy there. And that banging is, they have like a mosquito light type of thing. What's your favorite Alexander Hamilton fact? My favorite fact is his son about Alexander Hamilton. There's a lot of Hamilton facts I've covered, but I really do appreciate how he set the foundations for our modern banking system, which were the very reason why America ended up becoming such a financial powerhouse. Can be all thanks to Alexander Hamilton, who actually wasn't born in the modern day US of A. He was born in the Caribbean. So I think that's very interesting. Rob says, great to go on a very hot, humid day. Yeah. Took your recommendation and went to Roberta's in Williamsburg during my last visit, and it was amazing. Jaha, I'm so glad you went to Roberta's. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That's good news. That's very good news. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the guide as well. Kelly says, I love the history of New York. I'm so glad you do. It was frozen down there. Yeah, bad service in basements in New York City, unfortunately. Wendy says, looking forward to Greece, but please do a lot of lives. I'll do my best, though my focus is going to the documentary series. But you'll see some of Greece live at some point. Colin says, I love your channel. So, I don't get to mention this on my short videos, and many people don't know, but I do have a Patreon where you can get access to long, extended versions of my short videos, and also other vlogs that I end up doing. You end up getting full, extensive cuts. Some short videos I end up posting like 1, 2, 3 minutes of a short video, and then the extended version is like 20 minutes to an hour. Like the one about the USS Wasp. It was a full hour tour, 1 entire hour, and I really only showed about 6 minutes publicly on short videos. So go to patreon.com/urbanist. The second thing I need to plug is my guide. If you want to a full New York City in-depth guide, go to urbanist.live/guide, and there you'll get a full, super in-depth guide for only $20. Very generous price because it has probably 3 times more information than other guides priced the same. Hint, hint. I talk about the best pizza, best museums, best neighborhoods, how to get from the airports to the city, how to find best hotels, how to find great Airbnbs, what to look out for in all those situations. And I also cover common etiquette and basic culture of New York, especially if you're coming from Europe and want to learn about things that are not obvious to a European traveler or someone who's not used to American culture coming in here. I would recommend getting the guide. So urbanist.live/guide. And then beyond that, go to ! Hotels so you can get a discount on your next hotel booking whichever city you want to. So put ! Hotels right now, save that link. So let me show you my favorite street. Just to clarify, I'm not offering guided tours. I no longer offer guided tours. Though in my guide that you can buy, I do offer a guide to the best guides in New York City. So there's some great tour guides here that you can take in-person tours with. The entire list is basically friends of mine. So it's also people I know personally and have featured in my videos before. Best pizza in New York City. Minera's is the best in Little Italy. My favorite pizza in general is Table 87. I actually would recommend it. It's a bit out of the way. It's located on Atlantic Avenue. And I think it's about to rain. Uh-oh, I don't have an umbrella. Oh yeah, it's about to pour. Oh no. Well, ladies and gentlemen, should have brought an umbrella. Here's my favorite street in New York City, Dwyer Street, also known as Murder Alley. Luckily, no murdering is done here today. That's nice. It's very safe. It's actually a very hip area. It's nice. They closed off the street to cars, so no more cars passing in and out. And it has a very dark history with the Chinatown wars that happened here. Two rival gangs used this as their battleground, and they got very bloody at some point. Most Chinese gangs at that time did not have, and this was around the early 1900s to about 1920, did not have guns. They did it on purpose in order to not run into too many issues with the law enforcement here in New York City. It was also tough for them to buy legal weapons. So they use hatchets, axes. But the positive thing about this street now is that it is a cool curved street. It has the oldest dim sum bar in all of New York City. Dim sum is basically like Chinese tapas, little plates like dumplings, buns, other things like that. There's a speakeasy that I'll point out right now called Apotheke. Doreen says, can you get fireworks here? The best place to see fireworks is along the East River. So basically anywhere below, I would say like 50th Street, you might be able to see fireworks. I bet someone like Sarah Funky has a great guide to fireworks, or Here Be Bar as well. So here's the oldest dim sum parlor in all of New York since 1920. I'll show you an example. This is a great place. I've done live videos where I've shown the food here. Oh, thank you so much. Where I've shown the food here before. It's great to come with friends because you get to share a bunch of these dumplings and soups, eggplants, shrimp bowls, fried rice, other things. And it's pretty full. There's a full line here. And then right here is Apotheke. Apotheke is a great speakeasy. It's not really obvious. There's a bouncer here later in the night, but all the guys are dressed in pharmacy attire. And then I've never been to this restaurant yet. I really gotta go, actually. It's called Chinese Tuxedo. It is an homage to a restaurant that existed here many, many decades ago. I think nearly 100 years ago. And it's been resurrected by a famous chef. Cash says, how big does New York feel to you? So New York is gigantic. If you're not used to cities, there's very few cities that feel as big as New York. From my personal experience, traveling extensively through North America and Europe, the only really other cities that feel as big as New York is London, Rome, Istanbul. Basically, that's it. All the other cities really pale in comparison. Of course, there's some cities that have a population that gets close, or at least is half of it. But New York City is a wildly huge city. You might only be seeing most of Lower Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan and below on your journey here if you're a tourist. But there's Queens, there's Brooklyn, there's the Bronx. And for many New Yorkers, there's also Staten Island, and most people have never even gone to Staten Island. Robert says Tokyo. So I haven't been to Tokyo, so I don't have personal experience with Asia yet. But I would say that yes, Tokyo, Hong Kong are probably, or definitely are big as New York. Mexico City is also as big or bigger than New York. Tokyo is the biggest city in the world, still to this day. Beijing, Shanghai as well. I assume some cities in India, New Delhi, Hyderabad maybe is probably as hectic and big as New York. Shiva says, Canada. I haven't been to Toronto yet. Montreal doesn't feel as big as New York. It's a pretty big population there, but it's not as big. I haven't been to Toronto, but from what I've heard, Toronto is a big city, but doesn't feel as big as New York. Look, there are dragons on the walls. No dragons on the walls here specifically. Grant says, doesn't Mexico City feel huge? Yep, Mexico City. Probably the only other city in North America that feels as big as New York. Or bigger than New York. Vincent says, subway. Yes, I do recommend riding the subway. There's a lot of negative news on the subway, and indeed, unfortunately, it being a big city, there has been some crime in the subway and in the city. But overall, it feels safe for most people. The statistical chance of you running into an act of violence is very low, especially compared to some other cities in the world. Very, 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 very low. It is a it's unfortunate if it does happen, but it's extremely low. So I tend to walk with ease in New York City. And New York City is actually a city that I walk a lot with ease, more than some cities in Europe. I feel calmer here than I did in Madrid, or that I did in Naples, for example, or parts of Istanbul. So I feel very calm here. Do you often see movies being shot in New York City? Yeah, I've done many live videos where we bumped into movies being shot. So I recommend watching my older live videos. For people who know me from my short videos, I have a gigantic library of long live videos where I explore huge parts of New York City. I go to Brooklyn, Queens. I have like a 6-hour broadcast where I explored Bushwick, Brooklyn. I have like another 6-hour broadcast where I explored Little Ireland to Inwood, Manhattan. I have such a gigantic variety of live videos for you to rewatch. Some of them are shorter, some of them are 40 minutes to an hour, so a little bit more easier to watch. So go check them out. Is Long Island City nice? Colorado. Long Island City right now is worth going as a tourist, especially for the views from the waterfront. It is gorgeous. There's a few standout restaurants there. But yes, I do recommend Long Island City in Queens. Nancy says you're amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. Hope you're doing well. Cash says, New York is my favorite city, but I haven't been there yet. Well, I hope you do come. I'm so glad you've gained an affinity for New York, even though you've never been here. That's awesome to hear. Tori says, which is better, Naples or New York City pizza? That's a great question. I get that question asked very often. You will find both pizzas here. So there's Naples pizzas here in New York City. I do have them in my guide for New York that's available for sale, for purchase. There are, I think I recommend about 5 Neapolitan style pizzas here that are excellent. I would say if I were to eat it more on a daily basis, on a regular basis, I would eat Naples style, because it's just overall more healthy. It goes down easier. It's not as filling and makes you stuffy and sluggish as a New York City pie would. But New York City can't be beat. It's a great pie to eat as a snack, to go. And it's filled with so much flavor that it's different from a Neapolitan style pizza. Different toppings. New York City style is just iconic and still makes for a great meal too. Kelly with the $3 super chat. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate the $3 super chat. That's so kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Steven says, where I live in New York. I'm everywhere. I'm transient. Ron, nice to see you here. Dave says, my parents took us to World's Fair in 1964. That's awesome. That's really cool. So right now where we're walking, I'm posting a video soon of this very intersection. This used to be the notorious 5 Points, where rival Irish gangs battled it out for supremacy of this neighborhood. This was depicted in the movie Gangs of New York, which is also based on a book that I highly recommend also reading. Kay from Ireland gifted me that book. They also had, there was Germans involved and also Chinese and African Americans all collided here in this neighborhood. It was one of the most notorious neighborhoods in New York City history. Extremely dangerous for a moment in time. All out battles and fights against multiple dozens of people at the same time. It was crazy. So crazy that even the army intervened here at some point, or the Coast Guard. I think the National Guard intervened here during the Civil War draft riots, which was insane. So check out Gangs in New York. But this was the intersection, and the short video is coming soon. John says, do you know Scotty? John, no, I have not heard of Scott Labaido. comedian. Petter from Sweden leaving me 100 Swedish krona. I forgot the conversion rate. I think that's like $12 or so. Thank you so much for the 100 Swedish krona. That's so kind of you. I miss parts of Gamla Stan and Stockholm. It was a very nice trip I had over there. So thank you so much for the 100 Swedish krona. Vincent says, your favorite square in New York? Flatiron is my favorite square in New York. It's so iconic with the Flatiron building. It's majestic. So you might be wondering, where are those buildings from 5 Points? They were all destroyed. The entire neighborhood was leveled down to the ground because the buildings were so derelict. Some of them were sinking, and some of them were bordering Collect Pond, which was the most polluted waterway or body of water in all of New York. Wendy says, when are you in Greece? Oh, you just gotta stay tuned. I'll be there at some point soon. Gina says, that seems crazy. The DA's office is right there. Yeah. It's I think quite ironic. You know, sometimes you go to places and they build a church on top of a place where a huge war happened. It's almost like the same way. A massive legal institution was built here on top of where a lot of crime happened at some point. Steve says, stay curious, my friends. Hey, Steve, stay curious too. Susie says, Gangs of New York was such a long movie. Well, exactly. It's a movie you just gotta settle into. Take your sweet time to enjoy every last moment of it. Gwen says, enjoy Greece. I just messaged with my friend in Athens. Hey, that's so cool, Gwen. It's so cool that you have a friend in Athens. Athens is such a great city. Can't wait to show more of it. Debbie says, the skateboarder had pink hair. Yes, pink hair is now becoming a very popular hair color here in New York. Lots of pink hair on men nowadays. Pink, purple, blue, rainbow. You got all the colors. Some people have translucent hair, aka they're just bald. So all the colors. Debbie says yes. And anyone who's commenting, keep caps to a minimum. Using caps for your messages is like akin to screaming in a party. It's a bit too much. So write with normal letters. Haha says, Ariel inspired us to move to New York. Queens and the Bronx seems more likely. Hey, that's so cool. I'm so glad you're going over to New York. Doug says, my hair is turning translucent. Oh, Doug, yes. You could just say that the color is just translucent. No one needs to know anything about balding. Grant says, 56 Leonard. Yeah, it's a great building. I think we've seen it multiple times while walking around. We're about to catch a glimpse of it right now. 56 Leonard is also known as the Jenga building. Because in ancient times, back in the 1990s, little kids would play a game called Jenga. Jenga was a series of blocks, long rectangular blocks that you would stack up as a rectangle itself, and then the game was to take out each block person by person, and when it fell down, that person lost the game. Susie says, we're near your job. Yeah, Susie, we're visiting. I thought you got the memo, Susie, that I was going to come to your job, do a live video. You're going to show us what you do here in New York City, aside from watching these live streams during work. We won't tell your boss. I thought you got the memo that we were going to your work. Durian says, is the Jenga building office or residential? The Jenga building is fully residential. I don't think there's even a business downstairs. So yeah, it's fully residential. Susie says, I took the day off. Damn it, Susie. Susie did not get the memo. Next time, Susie. I will come next time. So many countless scenes of Law and Order have been filmed here at the courthouse. This is the United States courthouse, and this is the New York Supreme Courthouse. Yeah, the New York Supreme Courthouse right here. Oh no, says 5 points. Oh yes, 5 points. Manhattan East Side says, hey, I'm exploring over here. Yeah, I'm exploring over here. East Side, making a reference to the film Midnight Cowboy, where Dustin Hoffman screams at I think it was a taxi cab or some just random car on the street, and he says, hey, I'm walking over here. I also have a short video on this monument, though the story is very sad, so let's not talk about it right now. Let's talk about happier things, like the clouds. Look at the clouds, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these beautiful puffy clouds. Green says lots of mafia movies. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great mafia movies in New York. Susie says, I took the day off from work and now I'm reminded that I need to go back to work. Touche, Susie, touche. Matt, nice to see you here. Matt says there are 5 venues for the Supreme Court here, 1 in each borough. Thank you so much, Matt. Yes, there's a Supreme Court in the Bronx, Supreme Court in Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island. Is this Astor Place? No, this is called Foley Square. Foley Square. We are much further away from Astor or Union Square. That's further up the island. That's northward, that direction. Right now, about a 30-minute walk, we'll get to Union Square. About 35-minute walk, we can get to Astor Place. But if you walk in the New York pace, you might get there in 15 minutes. If you walk in the New York pace after having a large 20-ounce cold brew, coffee black, you might get there in negative 3 minutes. Wendy says amazing buildings. Yeah, gorgeous buildings. Ida says great view from here. Yeah, just love this area. Now we're nearing downtown Manhattan Financial District, and there's a lot of cool things to do in that area. Here's the subway. This is where you can find the lost train station. Susie says, is remembering the day in January 6, 2021. It was an interesting day in New York. Yeah, it was. I went live that day. Who's the most famous person you bumped into while walking? I bumped into a lot of people while walking, Kelly. That's a great question. On live video, I've seen a few celebrities. If anyone remembers which ones. There's probably a few people who remember someone. From what I personally have encountered is also Tom Hardy. I've seen Zachary Quinto, who plays Spock in the Star Trek movies. Who else have I seen? Justin Timberlake, famous pop singer and actor. James Cameron. Just Sarah Jessica Parker is who I saw once on the live video before. Nicole says Daniel Craig. I think we did see Daniel Craig in the live video. Yeah, that was very interesting. He appeared for a few seconds. A few viewers did catch him, yeah. So Daniel Craig, who plays James Bond, did appear for a few seconds in my live video. I forgot which one it was, but I think it was around last year. Hey, I get to come to New York City very soon, says Robin. Your videos are so interesting, informative, and helpful. Thank you from a longtime follower. My pleasure, Robin. I'm so glad you're visiting New York soon. Will it be the first time? If not, regardless, that's awesome. Enjoy your time here. Joseph says, I did see Salvador Dali 57 years ago. That's awesome. Do let me know. What's your top celebrity sighting in New York City for people who've been here? Kelly says, wow, that's so cool. And they just walk around like normal people and people don't stalk them. Yeah, generally New Yorkers tend to be pretty chill when it comes to celebrities. They are not hounded down as much as other cities. That's why, ironically, unfortunately, John Lennon did love New York City. He felt very at ease here. Ended up being to his detriment, unfortunately. But other celebrities have had a good time. Some of them ride the subway all the time. Sarah Jessica Parker is known to ride the subway all the time. Keanu Reeves. There's many others. Timothy Chalamet as well. Here's the Manhattan Municipal Building. Bella says, I ran into Jerry O'Connell in the Village. That's cool. Great actor. Look at the building in front of you. So gorgeous. Yeah, Kelly. Gorgeous building. One of the more beautiful buildings here in New York City. Beautiful Beaux-Arts style. Tracy says, I saw Sandra Bullock in the basement of the ABC Carpet and Home. We both said how creepy the giant clown head looked like. Janice says, I saw Robert Klein before refurbished Columbus Circle. Oh, cool. Roger says, I love the Beekman right here. Yeah, we're close to the Beekman, about 5 minutes away. I never see a celebrity in NYC, only in LA, Hugh Jackman. Oh, that's interesting you saw Hugh Jackman in LA. Hugh Jackman actually lives here. I've been to his coffee shop many times and on live videos. It's called Laughing Man. I've never seen him yet in New York City. I would love to. Doreen says PBS has a great documentary on this building. Oh, I can imagine. Jan says, I saw Dick Clark on Madison Avenue in a full leather coat. Oh, that's cool. Wow, look at this. We have the Freedom Tower. Ron says, I saw Cameron Diaz once, but then I woke up. Ron, I'm glad that you have a vivid imagination. That's what matters the most. Pablo says, take the NY bus tour. I won't be doing it today. I got somewhere to be very soon. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. All right. That was a crazy photo bomb. So I'm not taking the bus tour today, but I do have a lot of videos. I may have like 3 or so videos on the bus tours during the day and night. Kelly says, you see, you're the famous guy walking down the street. Walking down the street. Dun 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 dun. Nicole says that's enthusiasm. Yeah, that was quite a lot of enthusiasm. I couldn't match that guy's energy. I just couldn't. I tried my best, ladies and gentlemen. I did my best, but no, I would need at least like 3 cold brew coffees in order to match that guy's energy. I do appreciate it though, so round of hearts to that guy and his friends for the immense energy that they had and enthusiasm. I'm not sure if they knew who I was or they just saw me with the camera. I'm not sure which one, but thank you. All right, let's mute because the reggaeton is playing in the distance. Urban Lady says, you're giving after work energy. Urban Lady, New York is such a high energy city that sometimes it just drains you and one has to just chill out. And that's in the vibe I'm in right now. If you don't, live. But it's all good. Here's City Hall right here. Recently, a famous pizzaiola here in New York City came upon the gates of City Hall and threw pizza over the gate. But why, may you ask? Why would a man do such a thing and throw pizza over here? It was an act of protest, an act of defiance. Because New York City, I don't have to get into politics, but we will. I think we will at this time. We will. I think it's imperative. This is a rare exception, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on to your butts, take a seat, chill out for a little bit because this is going to be a bit shocking. We're going to discuss politics. Because New York City, right over here, City Hall, is trying to pass a law that prevents pizzerias from having brick ovens. That means we won't have any more beautiful brick oven pies in New York City. They have to cut carbon emissions by 75%, which is insane. That means they won't be able to bake a nice pie pizza. They won't be able to have their brick ovens. So either they're expecting these pizzerias to go electric or just microwave their pizza. I think there's far larger issues than a brick oven pizza. That's my personal opinion. I think that's a ridiculous law, and I'm in full support of that pizzaiola throwing pizza over the fence. No other politics beyond that. That's the end of the political discussion. But let me know, should we keep brick oven pizza or should it go for the sake of the environment? I don't think brick oven pizza is gonna make a difference. Kelly says that's not politics, it's a straight up sin. Indeed. I never knew this, Rob, so why did the mayor do this? They haven't passed a law yet, I think. I think it's in the process. So I don't think it's enacted yet. Though I do have to read more about it. Robin says, keep the brick ovens. Yeah, I agree. Maybe I should do a special live stream to have a brick oven pie just in case it goes away. Pablo says, too many lawsuits, toilet paper would be outlawed. Indeed. First straws, now brick oven pizza. Oh, the humanity. Rob says that would be a sin. Indeed it would be. Whoa. Susie says they should do the reverse. Just ban all gas oven pizzas, also microwaves, and keep in brick ovens. I agree. You know, that's a good law. Let's up the quality of pizza. Justine says, I want to throw my microwave out at them. Yes, please do not commit any acts of violence. But if you throw the microwave at a safe distance away from them, I won't tell you not to do that. Brett says you have to laugh, otherwise you'll go crazy. Indeed. Indeed. But yeah, I think I'm already going crazy. No, I'm joking. I think you should try and see all the abandoned subway stations legally. I really want to. I need to find myself a connection with the MTA And I think I'm very close. So that might become a possibility. Great recommendation. Are you going to walk down Theater Alley? I think I'm not sure what Theater Alley is. Do let me know what it is, what you're referring to. Peter says, screw politics, there's always a problem all over. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Dolly says, please, they could cut the emissions elsewhere, but of course they go for the people's best. Indeed, I think it's insane, personally. Jonathan, nice to see you here. What's the oldest building in New York, Hyperion? I think the oldest building in New York... It's a great question. The oldest street in New York will be... The oldest building in New York, I think, is St. Paul's Chapel. Oh, no, never mind. The oldest building in New York is the... it's a house close to the border of Brownsville and Bedford-Stuyvesant. I forgot the name. The second oldest house is the Vanderdonk house, but those two houses date back to, I think, the early 1600s or mid 1600s. I forgot exactly when. I gotta refresh my New York City memory, but it's around the late 1600s. Those two houses are. So they're both in Brooklyn. One of them is all the way in Deep Bushwick. I've shown that one before. And another one is at the very end of Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I haven't shown that one yet. So I have a coffee recommendation for everyone. If you're looking for a good coffee here in downtown, there's a few great spots. I recommend Suited, which is another one, but this one's also stand out. Variety Coffee right here. Variety Coffee. I do recommend it. They're very nice. They always have ample seating in their coffee shops. The Wyckoff House. Thank you everyone for reminding me. The name is the Wyckoff House in Bedford-Stuyvesant. 1652. Thank you so much, Bella. So 1652, and then the second one is the Vander and Ondonker House. That is located between the borders of Bushwick and Bridgewood. Yes. Are you getting a toga to match the sandals, says Ron. maybe I need to get a toga. Maybe. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Hey, Katrina says, hello from Wales. Hey, how are y'all doing? Ariel's good as ever. We see some different places that you visit this summer. Yeah, you'll see a few places this summer. I won't travel as extensively as last year, but I hope to travel once again later in the year. Definitely in winter time. Here's one of the better slice shops in this area of downtown, and here's a great photo opportunity with the One World Trade Center perfectly framed here in this street, which is Fulton Street. I got update Nightbot, so ignore Nightbot. It thinks we are in Munich. And apparently Munich is a bit chilly with 65 degrees Fahrenheit. But this is Joe's Pizza. Joe says, I'm speed walking over here. Yeah, I am indeed. I saw a video in Cold Spring, New York. It looks so beautiful. Brett says, I wish we could vlog that. Yeah, I'm tempted to go more up to upstate New York.
Like, how, that's like,
Maybe I'll go at some
that
point.
seems like such a big, like, no-no. You know?
I think with when it comes to upstate New York, I feel like I need more company. I need like company to go upstate New York. To me, it will be a bit of a bummer to go on my own. So if I find a worthy co-host to explore more of outside New York City, I'll do it. When I was in LA last time, I saw Joe's Pizza. The woman eating the pizza outside of it said it was better in New York. Interesting, yeah. I think Joe and a few other pizzerias have recently opened up in LA. Some of them have gotten good acclaim. That's interesting. Doreen says, I'll go. Dave says, AK will join you. Hey, Ambrose says, I could be the teller to your pen. Fernando says, what a great city. I was lucky enough to visit 4 times. So cool. I love the way you show everything. Oh, thank you so much. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got our own Manhattan Henge right over here. I guess New York City has the best pizza because of the water. Yeah, the water has its own mineral content. And that is part of the reason why the New York City pizza is so good. There has been a lot of debate on that front. Some people say that yes, it is indeed the case. Some people say no, it is not the case. I would venture a guess that yes, it does have to do with the water content in New York City. Because, for example, it's very similar in Japan with rice. I think certain Japanese cities boast better rice because of the water that they have access to. All right, I'm about to head out. Gotta catch up for an event. So if you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. Thank you everyone so much for joining me on this random walk in New York City. I hope you enjoyed live streams. Let me know if you want me to do more live streams in the future, if you missed live streams. And do check out my short videos. And in August, you'll be seeing a documentary series of Athens. So wish me luck. I'm filming now. It'll be the first documentary series that I ever do. I have to show you this view. Look at this. Wow. Gorgeous. So I'm going to do some business at the Federal Reserve. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Ida says more live streams, of course. We missed the lives. Ambrose says, are you going to Athens, Georgia? No, the OG Athens. Urban Lady says, thank you, that was so much fun. Russ says, do more live streams. Janice says, yes, live streams. Noah says, I enjoyed this. Keep it up. Dwayne says, yes, do more live streams. Kelly says, I love the buildings built on the corner lot. Such a cool aspect to them. Indeed, they are, yeah. Wendy says, thank you so much. Wendy, my pleasure. Joe, thank you so much. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going live 8 p.m. July 4th on Classic Harbor Line. So tune in, Classic Harbor Line, tomorrow at 8 p.m. I'm super hyped to show you the New York City fireworks right up close in person. We'll be right up on those fireworks at a dangerously close distance. and we'll be on the East River on the boat. So it's going to be a fun time. So stay tuned. Tomorrow 8 p.m. Right now, subscribe to the Classic Herberline channel. I'll share the link on Urbanist soon as well, so you can be sure to put on notifications there. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon tomorrow 8 p.m. Eastern Time, New York City time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.